Our world in greatness. We are all one family that is divided by education. And the thing that makes education hard is actually just poverty. The world's lack of real education is perfectly reinforced by poverty. In a lot of ways, poverty prevents education. One of the first lessons, once we get to the books, is that we are the creators of everything. That the way the world is made by each and every one of us. But because of lack of education, we can't really agree on anything. Not for long enough to make progress. As a result, we allow war. We tolerate nuclear weapons that are pointed at all the major cities everywhere. We think that poverty and homelessness just happens. That things we create are just bad luck for some. No, we all join in to create it all, and then we wipe the worst of it from our minds. We even wipe the fact that we remove park benches and put spikes where the homeless feel safe. It is true that no one votes on these terrible things, but they do emerge out of our disagreement, which is rooted in our lack of education. Most people think that education happens in school, but all that real education is growing all the way up until we all become great beings. Growing up is not a diploma, nor is it about merely aging. Growing up is about deliberately inheriting knowledge from place no other than narrated books. Books written by other great beings, most often from many other generations. And not merely reading or listening to them, but also trying to create our own narrations as family keepsakes, truly deeply comprehending the lives and wisdoms contained within. Our knowledge, wisdom, and greatness, both inherited and later synthesized, serves as our operating system, a system of perceptions, comprehension, experiences, and choices. It dictates our entire future ahead of us. We must take to wisdom. When we don't inherit from wise books, we end up perpetuating the way things are, because we effectively end up starting a new generation at zero, repeating the mistakes of the previous. All the evil emerging out of this chaos of lack of understanding, from crime to horrible wars, as bad as it is not yet as bad as it can be. There is no nuclear war. There is no runaway climate change yet. But that does not mean we can see greatness as somehow optional. Quite to the contrary, now is the time to rise to greatness. All it takes is making room for books. Now is the time that we must all become great beings, as soon as possible to prevent the worst of it. It is really hard to pick out a life-changing narrated book at the library. And it is almost impossible for a stressed out person to hang on to the story long enough to inherit from it, to befriend the author, to travel in space or time, and to get at that wisdom and internalize it and use it in their decision making. But we have to rise to this challenge. We have to make room for wisdom and greatness so that we can all understand and repair what is broken. We must each become a great being. Grow all the way up to see, to understand, to make our world ever more beautiful.